Meanwhile, the entire country has been awaiting with bated breath for news on the outcome of last evening's special cabinet meeting chaired by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, where sources stated that he has made an official request to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to step down. At the meeting, the president had observed that due to the economic and political crisis in the country, a serious problem existed in maintaining the economy due to continuous public protests. He had also pointed out that the situation has led to a serious threat to the economy due to a decrease in tourist arrivals and a risk of factories closing down. According to political sources, the president had stated strongly that the Prime Minister and government must resign due to their inability to act in the face of the crisis. At the meeting, Public Security Minister Prasanna Ranatunga had concurred with the president's decision, saying that the government politicians were facing a situation where they were unable to visit their electorates, with the country completely paralysed. He had also added that with the situation getting increasingly untenable, the government must resign and the task must be handed over to someone who can do it. However, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa had hit back, saying that he was not prepared to step down simply because protesters were demanding that he does. He added that he would be prepared to do so only if there was a political issue. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Wimala Veera Dissanayake had then endorsed the Prime Minister's stance, saying that the resignation of the Prime Minister was not the answer to the current issue, hence he should not have to resign. Following this, Finance Minister Ali Sabri had briefed the cabinet on the country's current economic situation, revealing that the country could only at present manage to borrow 2.9 trillion rupees. He added that if this sum could not be increased up to 4 trillion rupees, there would be a risk of the government being unable to pay state sector wages next month. The Finance Minister also stated that although parliamentary approval was required for this, the country was not in a position to do this successfully. Also speaking at the meeting, Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana had agreed with the President's suggestion, saying that the government should be handed over to those who can get the job done. Health Minister Professor Channajaya Sumana added that the only way to assuage the public, given the present incendiary situation, is for the government to resign. Following this, Minister Dr. Nalaka Godaheva had addressed the Premier, saying that although he agrees that the Prime Minister should not resign due to protest pressure, there was a political issue because if the government was unable to garner 113 seats to pass the Finance Minister's public sector wage request, the government should not remain in power. He added that all government members should resign, including the Prime Minister, and pave the way for the formation of an all-party government. After Minister Godaheva's explanation, the Premier had stated that under such circumstances, if his resignation was the only solution to the crisis, he was ready to step down and sit in the opposition. Meanwhile, political sources say that if the Prime Minister resigns, the current cabinet will also be dissolved automatically, and the process of the resignation of the government is likely to take place on Monday. In this backdrop, the leaders of the 11 independent parties held a meeting at the residence of former President Maithripala Sirisena. Meanwhile, the country's main opposition, the Samaga Jana Balawegaya, announced that it has decided to extend support for the proposals brought forward by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka to restore political and economic stability, which also includes the abolishment of the executive presidency. The SJB states that it considers the program proposed by the Bar Association to abolish the executive presidency as a primary need to resolve the existing national crisis. SJB parliamentarian Harin Fernando said that the party's decision to support the establishment of an interim government of national unity to resolve the current crisis in the country was based on the proposals put forward by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka.
ඒ අනුව ජනතාවගේ දැවෙන ප්‍රශ්න වලට කඩිනම් විසඳුම් ලබා දී ආර්ථික සාවර කිරීමට ශ්‍රී ලංකා නීතිඥ සංඝ විසින් ඉදිරිපත් කළ ලද යෝජනා මාලාව මත පදනම්ව මෙම අර්බුදය විසඳීම සඳහා වූ ජාතික වැඩසටහනක් සඳහා සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ ප්‍රමුඛ සමගි ජන සන්ධානයේ සිය සහයෝගය දීමට තීරණය කරන ලදී.
මේ අර්බුදය විසඳීම සඳහා නායකත්වය ගැනීමට ඒ වගේම වගකීම් දැරීමට අපේ පක්ෂයේ ගරු නායක සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමත් ඒ වගේම අපේ සම්පූර්ණ මන්ත්‍රී කණ්ඩායමත් අද එකඟතාවයකට පැමිණලා තිබෙනවා මේ ක්‍රියාවලියට ඇතුල් වෙන්න. නිසා අපි දැන් රටට කියන්න කැමති අපි ලෑස්ති වගකීම් බාර ගන්න. හැබැයි යම් නිශ්චිත ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනත් ආර්ථික ප්‍රසංස්කරණත් දෙක එකට යන ජාතික වැඩපිළිවෙලකට අපි සහයෝගය දෙන්නේ. අපිට අවශ්‍යයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුව නියෝජනය කරන සියලුම පක්ෂ මේ ක්‍රියාදාමයට එකතු වෙන්න. අපි හෙට ශ්‍රී ලංකා නීතිඥ සංගමේ මුණ ගැසීමෙන් පස්සේ අනෙක් පක්ෂවල අදහස් එකතු කරලා ඉදිරි පියවර පිළිබඳව සාකච්ඡා කරන්න ලෑස්ති.